Hello, everybody, and welcome into Duly Projected. And today we are talking about the Democratic primary nomination process. It's changed a little bit in 2020 from 2016, and I know there's a lot of controversy over the 2016 process and the nomination and that sort of thing. So we're going to take a look at the reforms that are in place for 2020 and kind of discuss, how a candidate comes to win this nomination process and that sort of thing. So let me go ahead and pull this up. This is the reform that has gone into the 2016. So basically, you can kind of read this over if you want. This is also on the Wikipedia page. But basically, the superdelegates, the elected officials who had a vote, and comprised of superdelegates, they're no longer going to be on the first ballot. They will be on the second ballot if there's no clear winner on the first ballot. So basically, what happens now is there's a certain number of delegates that a candidate needs to hit to become the nominee. And you can see that here in this little, basically if they hit a certain number, depending where they hit, I think 1886 is probably the golden number here of delegates that you need to hit to win this thing. So, and that kind of comes into also the 15% rule, which we're going to discuss a little bit. So basically, when you are running as a candidate in a state, you basically want to get at least 15% of the vote. Because if you don't hit that metric, then you might lose out on delegates. They may go to another candidate and that sort of thing, which you can see here on this next one. Alright, so if no candidate meets the 15% threshold, so that's like the whole state, like any given state, if nobody gets 15%, then Democratic Party rules state the minimum to receive delegates will be 50% of the vote received by the front runner. So you would get half of the delegates if you're the front runner but didn't reach the 15% threshold. It's effectively a winner-take-all if only one candidate reaches that 15% of the vote. So what we'll see more than likely is people at the very top that are over the 15%, 20%, 25%, that sort of thing. It's just going to be proportional. They're just going to get proportional of the delegates. And I kind of see that playing out for the most part. With a big field, this could come into play a little bit, but I really don't see that happening. I think the field probably before Super Tuesday will be defined, and definitely after Super Tuesday, where it's definitely going to be the top of the heap still in the race. Anybody after Super Tuesday that still doesn't have a chance, they're just doing it for some kind of political gain or maybe another race, and they're just wasting their time basically because the front runners will be defined by then. So hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. I have a little spreadsheet here that I'm kind of tracking. These are just as far as polling right now, and I've done like a little proportional to the poll of delegates that somebody would take home from these states. The top 4 people at this time that I believe in the race. So you can see each state and the delegates up for grabs for each state, and close to 4,000 delegates up for grabs. So 4,000 and you need about 1,800. So not right at half, but pretty close to half. Let's see what that number was. Yeah, yeah, pretty close to half, like 1,900. So, and there's more delegates. These are by the voters, the amount of delegates available from the voters themselves. So, be interesting to see. Hopefully, this kind of clarifies with you on the process of nomination, and if you need a little bit more explanation, just go to the 2020 Democratic primary wiki page. It's pretty explanatory. It can get confusing, especially if you're reading by each state's process, because each state is a little bit different. But overall, it's, from what I've gathered, it's proportional to how much you get with, and you're more than likely needing at least 15% of the vote to gain delegates. So hopefully this clears up some things, and I will be seeing you on the next video. Take care.